Welcome to Time Capsule, Modern Genealogy, Legacy, and AI. I'm Barbara Beauregard, genealogist, educator, author of Here Today, Gone Tomorrow, and creator of the Time Capsule Method. If you've taken a DNA test, you've probably seen a feature called Shared Matches. Maybe you've clicked on it. Maybe you've ignored it. Or maybe you've looked at the list and thought, what exactly am I supposed to do with this? You're not alone. Shared matches is one of the most powerful tools available to family historians today. Yet many people either misunderstand it or never use it at all. The good news is that shared matches doesn't have to be complicated. Today we're going to break it down in simple, practical terms. We'll discuss what shared matches actually are, why they matter, how they can help solve genealogy problems, how adoptees and unknown parentage researchers use them, common mistakes to avoid, and how you can start using shared matches immediately. So let's get started. Let's begin with the basics. A shared match is exactly what it sounds like. It's someone who matches both you and another DNA match. Think of it this way. Imagine you're standing in a room. You know person A, you know person B. Then you discover that person A and person B also know each other. That connection becomes meaningful. DNA works similarly. If match A shares DNA with you and match B shares DNA with you, that's interesting. But if match A and match B also share DNA with each other, you've discovered a potential family cluster. And clusters are where genealogy breakthroughs often happen. Most DNA testing sites give you thousands of matches, sometimes tens of thousands. That's overwhelming. Shared matches help organize the chaos. Instead of looking at thousands of individual matches, you're identifying groups of people who may belong to the same branch of your family tree. That's incredibly valuable because genealogy is often about finding patterns. Shared matches reveal those patterns. Let's imagine a large family reunion. You walk into a room with 100 people. At first glance, it feels overwhelming, but then you notice smaller groups. One group is gathered around grandma's descendants. Another group consists of cousins from a different branch. Another group belongs to an in-law family. The room begins to make sense. Shared matches do the same thing. They help separate your DNA matches into meaningful family groups. I often think of DNA matches as puzzle pieces. One piece alone doesn't tell you much. But when several pieces connect, a picture begins to emerge. Shared matches help identify which puzzle pieces belong together. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the picture becomes. And eventually, you begin to see entire family lines. Let's say you have a DNA match named Sarah. Sarah shares 120 centimorgans with you. That's interesting. But it doesn't immediately tell you how you're related. Now, you click Shared Matches. You discover that Sarah shares matches with John Mary, Robert Patricia. You investigate those people. 3 of them descend from your great-grandparents. Suddenly, Sarah becomes easier to place. She likely belongs somewhere on that same branch of the family. This is exactly how shared matches help solve relationships. This is important. Shared matches don't automatically tell you how someone is related. They don't identify the exact common ancestor. They don't prove relationships. They provide clues. You still need records, research, trees, evidence. Shared matches point you in the right direction. The rest is genealogy. One of the most useful ways to think about shared matches is through grandparents. Every person has 4 biological grandparents. As your DNA matches begin clustering, you'll often find that many matches belong to one of those grandparent lines. Over time, shared matches help separate your DNA results into family groups. One cluster may belong to your father's paternal side. Another may belong to your father's maternal side. Another may belong to your mother's paternal side. And another may belong to your mother's maternal side. This process is sometimes called clustering, and it can be incredibly powerful. Shared matches are especially important in unknown parentage cases. When someone doesn't know one or both biological parents, shared matches often become one of the primary tools for solving the mystery. Instead of focusing on individual matches, researchers focus on groups. They identify clusters, then determine which ancestral lines connect those people. Over the years, I've used shared matches countless times while helping adoptees and others identify biological family members. The process isn't magic, but it works because families leave patterns, and shared matches reveal those patterns. You don't have to be an adoptee to benefit. Shared matches can help with traditional genealogy problems as well. Suppose you're trying to identify the parents of an ancestor. You have several DNA matches. Individually, they don't seem particularly useful. But when you examine shared matches, you discover many of them descend from the same family. Now you have a new lead, a new direction, a new hypothesis to test. Sometimes that's all it takes to break through a brick wall. The biggest mistake I see is focusing only on the amount of shared DNA. People often become obsessed with centimorgans, and centimorgans matter, but relationships aren't solved by centimorgans alone. A 50 centimorgan match connected to the right cluster can be far more valuable than a larger match with no context. Always look beyond the number. Look at the group. Another mistake is ignoring smaller matches completely. Now, not every small match is useful, but some smaller matches become valuable because of the cluster they belong to. The context matters. The connections matter. The pattern matters. Many people never build simple notes. When you identify a cluster, document it. Write down what you've learned. Record possible common ancestors. Keep track of discoveries. DNA research becomes much easier when you stay organized. A practical approach is simple. Choose one match. Review their shared matches. Identify common surnames. Identify common locations. Look for recurring ancestors. Gradually, you'll begin seeing clusters emerge. You don't need fancy software to get started, just curiosity and careful observation. The most successful DNA research combines genetic evidence with traditional records. DNA may tell you where to look. Records help confirm what happened. Census records, birth records, marriage records, obituaries, newspapers, land records. All of these remain important. DNA doesn't replace genealogy, it enhances it. The real power appears when multiple pieces of evidence begin pointing in the same direction. Shared matches suggest a family, records support the connection, locations align, dates fit, relationships make sense. That's when confidence grows, and that's when breakthroughs happen. Many people feel intimidated by DNA, but shared matches is one of the easiest DNA tools to learn. You don't need advanced science. You don't need complicated calculations. You simply need to understand one concept. People who share DNA with each other often belong to the same family network. Once you understand that, you're already ahead of many researchers. As DNA databases continue growing, shared matches will become even more valuable. The number of available connections continues increasing, and every new match creates opportunities for new discoveries. The future of genealogy isn't just more records, it's understanding relationships more clearly. Shared matches helps make that possible. This week's challenge is simple. Choose one DNA match you've never fully investigated. Open the Shared Matches feature. Spend 15 minutes exploring. Look for patterns. Look for common surnames. Look for common locations. Look for family groups. You may discover a clue you've overlooked, and that clue may lead to your next breakthrough. DNA testing has transformed family history research, but the real power isn't found in a single match. It's found in the connections between matches. Shared matches helps reveal those connections. It helps organize the chaos, identify family groups, and uncover relationships that might otherwise remain hidden. The more you understand shared matches, the more confidently you can use DNA as a genealogy tool. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Time Capsule, Modern Genealogy, Legacy, and AI. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider following the podcast and sharing it with a friend, family member, or fellow genealogist. And if you're interested in learning more about preserving and protecting your family history, visit ancestryseeking.com for additional resources, courses, articles, and tools. Remember, family history isn't just about discovering the past. It's about preserving it for the future. Until next time, I'm Barbara Beauregard. Keep preserving your stories, protecting your legacy, and building your family's time capsule.